Michael Arden.
Get over here!
Get over here.
Hey.
Yes! Hey,
Hi,
babe.
guys. Whoa, don't fall off.
We're very high up. Have you seen the pigeons just keep flying past?
The breeze up here is
It's
really
terrifying.
exciting.
Welcome to Instagram Live.
That was
I'm
a great
happy to be
intro.
here.
Yes.
This yellow couch.
I know, right? It's FDE 300. That's our hex color, right? Yeah, if you want, we
very
can toss it that way or off the way.
We can just throw it into
Just throw
Fifth
it.
Avenue.
Yeah, no, I don't want
Take
to
out
Yeah,
a
we don't need
pedestrian.
it. Be careful.
I saw Avenue Q. I know what could happen.
Congratulations on Once on This Island and Tony nomination
Thank you.
and everything that's happened this year. It's been a
It's been
a big
an
year.
amazing year.
So I just spoke to Lynn Ahrens and Stephen Flaherty, who wrote the score to Once on This Island.
Shout out.
Did you know that Lynn Ahrens wrote the Klondike jingle?
No.
Yeah, she wrote a lot of jingles. That was like,
Yeah.
Her.
Just a fun side note that just occurred to me that you probably didn't know.
and a lot of Schoolhouse Rock.
Yes.
That I learned from the track by track breakdown.
Yes.
They did a Once on This Island track by track breakdown for us.
Ah.
Very informative.
And it was really cool. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out because they do it specifically to the Revival's cast recording. So they're like at minute 5, second 3,
yes.
like check out what the arranger's done in terms of
What the tennis rackets are doing in
yes,
that moment. Yeah.
exactly. But they were saying that you first approached them about reviving Once on This Island entirely a cappella.
Yeah. So I had gotten together with Anne Marie Milazzo. Shout out to the genius, beautiful lady. She is about. We got together and said we want to do this and do it a cappella with just stuff people can carry. So like drums, pieces of wood, stuff like that. And we made a really cool demo with Josh Henry and Adrian Warren and Lilias White and Capathia Jenkins. And I sang backup.
Yes.
Of course, Julia Murney sang backup, Jesse Nager, everybody, and they were like, absolutely not. And they had a point, you know. They were like, the ear won't be able to really doesn't want to listen to a cappella music for that long.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you know, it took some time, and then I was working with Michael Starobin on Hunchback of Notre Dame,
Right.
and he was like, yeah, Anne Marie told me you had this thing, and I did the original orchestrations. I listened to it. I think there's a way to do this with some more instruments, and that sort of, we went back to them with Michael in tow, which I think was helpful, and I finally gave them enough drugs that they agreed to let me do it.
Okay.
Which is also how you got booked here.
Yep.
Just plied us with
I
drugs.
did enough drugs, and I just landed there. Wait, no. Wig.
But I love that you. I mean, you earned this Tony nomination because not only did you completely rearrange the music with Anne Marie and Michael, but you also staged it in the round
I did.
with found objects and a lot of sand.
Yeah,
a goat.
6 tons or something. 7 tons of sand.
Do you have to replenish the sand, or are people like
Yeah,
picking up pop?
We do replenish the sand. It just kind of vanishes. It erodes. Our set erodes.
I mean,
so not even Broadway is safe
No.
from the global environmental crisis. No, I mean, half of it is probably like in my apartment from tech in the shoes. I had to like throw shoes away because they were filled with sand, but it just kind of disappears and then gets vacuumed up, and we had to buy special vacuums for the theater, and so we have to sort of like add sand and mix it out, and we also mix 2 types of sand to get the perfect color that will bounce light with the brilliant Peggy Eisenhower and Jules Fisher lighting. So there was a lot of sand like tasting, you know, things
well,
like that.
I mean, that's why you drive every weekend to Boston.
Yeah.
To just
I
pick up some more
sand.
sand. Yeah.
That's what I do. It's part of my gig.
That's fun.
Yeah.
It's important to be a multi-hyphenate.
Does David Cromer do that?
No.
He does, actually.
There's no sand in the band's visit.
Not that you can see.
True.
Backstage, a lot of it.
But I'm assuming that this was an insane tech process.
Yeah, it really was. We had a 9-day tech, which is pretty quick for all we were doing, and it was wild. And you know, but what was so great is that I was with the most wonderful group of people ever, and so we came up against like a problem of we can't get rid of the sand at this moment to reveal the floor to dance on because the sand is wet, and you know, and everyone put their minds together and came up with it together, and that's the kind of work I love to do. Is like, you know, it felt like a real community of people who put their minds to something.
Well, even with like the choreography, Camille Brown, it's one of the I love her work, and it's more
amazing.
It's not like it's like pause dance break, even though towards the end, they have a more dance heavy segment, but there's movement. There's dance movement throughout. So how was that collaboration process between you two?
Yeah, well, she and I just worked. I would stage something, she would choreograph something, and then we would both like get in and sort of start weaving through. Or we'd stage something. She'd be like, "Oh, can I add something?" And I was just like, "Go, let's do everything. I want to try everything. I want to. I'd rather see something wrong 10 times to find the right way, because doing it right the first time that's only one choice."
Yeah.
So, she did amazing work, and her associate Ricky Tripp is incredible as well, and did such good work. And it's sort of just like it's like a surgery. I think my rehearsal room is like probably being in surgery. There's like a lot of different doctors and surgeons working at the same time.
A lot of blood.
A lot of blood, and a lot of tubes.
Oh yeah,
tubing.
Well, that's for the music.
Yeah, exactly.
But then, how did with your experience as a performer? How does that inform your work as a director? You think?
Immensely, probably. I mean, I sort of know what the actors are going through.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like doing a musical, especially, is incredibly difficult. Like, you're thinking about where you are, and if you're in your light, and if you're how you sound, and how you feel that day, and if you're connecting, and how to sustain it emotionally, like when you've done it a million times, and so I just want to create an environment where they can do their best work, and I want them to be able to find it. I don't like to tell actors what to do, because it will never be as good as if they find it their own. So I think my job is to ask questions that can lead them to that. And the thing I say to every actor the first day is do the worst version. Be as bad as you possibly can, overact, be ridiculous, because in that failure and in that overdoing, we sometimes stumble across stuff we never would have if we would try to get it right the first time. So I say alleviate the trying to be good. Let's not be good. Let's find it. Let's be terrible.
Let's just
together.
Let's collaborate.
And then they're this incredible group of people.
Well, and you had a huge national search for T Moon.
We did. International.
International.
Yes.
Was there a moment in that process where you're like, oh God, is LaShawn still available? Can we just get her?
I mean, I heard Waiting for Life a lot. I have memorized the words at this point. But it was amazing to see so many people from so many walks of life come in and share their heart and soul with us. And it's casting is half being right for it, and half talent, and half just chemistry in the room.
Yeah,
that's 3 halves, but you know what I mean. And so it was great to see people. I saw girls in Port-au-Prince who definitely hopped on the back of someone's moped to get there and to share their voices with us. And I feel so lucky to get to receive that it really filled me with joy to direct it. So it was great. And then we found Haley Kilgore, who's
and that video of you offering the role to her, I was crying at my desk. I was like, this is beautiful.
I was like, guys, I have a great idea.
Yes.
We're gonna make her do it again. We had already decided. I mean, we already knew it was gonna happen.
And then the CBS video that came out this week of you chatting about your personal connection to the show also made me cry. So congratulations on that.
I like making you cry.
Making me cry all the time.
Thing. Wait till the bus ride. It's going to be a lot of tears.
Oh boy.
A trail of tears.
A trailway of tears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
just trailway buses. It's really good wordplay. Just rewatch it. Yeah.
Somebody just wrote Haley Kilgore, Flawless Queen, which is actually how she is billed by Equity.
Yeah.
That is her official.
And it's in her Playbill bio I saw the other day too, actually.
Flawless Queen.
Yeah, so y'all, and comment below with your questions for Michael Arden. Now's your chance to chitty chat. We've got some thumbs up. I love. People missing Tyler Matt.
But what was it like when Haley first came into the room? Was it immediate?
I had seen a video of her first that Rodney Hicks, the great, wonderful actor, Rodney Hicks had sent to my associate director, David Perlow, and she was singing Home from The Wiz, and I was just like, she's so beautiful, and her voice is so great, and she was just having so much fun when she sang. So when she came in the room, I was already excited and hopeful, and then she came in, and everyone was like, "Oh, she's interesting.
Yes,
she's really beautiful. she seems really confident for her. You know, it was just one thing after another. And in the final, one of the final auditions, before we offered it to her, I had the entire creative team, so it's like Lynn and Steven and Ken Davenport and Anne-Marie and everyone, and stood in a big circle because I was like, well, the show is going to be in the round, so I want you to just do the song and play it as if you're in the round. And she just did it.
Yes.
I mean, it was like, it was a real thrill.
That sounds terrifying.
You know, it might have been for her, but it didn't seem like it.
I also need you to know I'm picturing Megan Hilty on Smash singing Don't Forget Me while all of the people from her life who've stood in her way of her getting the role of Marilyn are on stage.
Right.
And then she banishes Bernadette Peters with that magnificent high note. That's what's playing
Bernadette
in my head
did
right
have
now.
to leave halfway through the audition.
Somebody was asking, do you have an embarrassing stage moment that you don't mind sharing?
God, I'm sure too many to count. Embarrassing stage moment. Let me think about it. I mean, I go into the white room sometimes, is what I call it, like where you just like forget who you are, what your name is, like what the line you're supposed to say. Like I've done that a few times, and that's the absolute worst.
Yeah.
It's just horrifying, and it feels like you might be dying. And
But how do you recover?
you just like eventually like get back aboard the train to reality and like hope the audience has some clue of what's going on. I was doing a show called Ace, the musical, at the Old Globe, with Betsy Wolfe was in it at the time, and I had to deliver some line. I went into the white room and couldn't remember. I had to like deliver a really specific plot point. I was like, if you do this, then this will happen. But if you do this, this will happen. And I like did it wrong. I like did it backwards, and everyone on stage was like sort of looked at me like, what is he saying? And the audience was lost for the rest of the night. Like probably had no idea. It was like really important information. So I apologize to those.
To those audience members.
People are asking about Hunchback. Do you have anything you can say about Hunchback of Notre Dame?
It was amazing. I mean, it was like it's the last role I played, and they don't like write them better than that. I don't know, that music. And I said to Alan Menken and Steven Schwartz, when I call them Alan and Steven.
Casual. Old Al.
That's their names. When we recorded the cast album, which we recorded the morning after Spring Awakening opened, so I would think I was still drunk when I recorded it out there. But I told them, I said, I have to thank you because people don't get to sing material like this. In that, like, I just had to show up and say the words and sing the notes, and it's crafted so perfectly that it just took me on the journey. So that was incredible, and to get to play that part and meet the people who were so touched by it, people who had severe disabilities and who were so moved by this character and who were so attached to the film, and it was like something I'll never forget. So I feel like I haven't played any part since, because that was pretty great. So we'll see what happens.
Well, people want to know, so Spring Awakening, Once on This Island, what's a dream show you would love to direct after this?
I really want to direct a new show. Well, but I think one that exists. You mean? I would love to direct Oliver.
Oliver, producers, are you listening? Great. Yeah.
Cameron, Mr. Mac.
Hey. Yeah.
He's definitely watching.
Yeah, he's
Shout
definitely
out.
right now.
Yeah.
I would be there for that. I would attend.
Yeah, I love that
you.
show. That wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a strange one for me to say, but
Wait, piggybacking off of Oliver, Laurie Metcalf wants to do a musical. What if we had Laurie Metcalf as Fagin?
that's an inspired idea, and sign me up.
You can have it.
Yeah.
It's yours.
You've got to pick a pocket or two.
I would watch her do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. Now I'm in the white room where I'm just picturing Laurie Metcalf in a production
Laurie
of
Metcalf
Oliver.
as Fagin.
You guys, this has been a delight. We're going to end it with a screenshot contest. Shall we? What do you want?
Yes.
So the rules of the screenshot
Are
contest.
simple and finite.
Any Cosmo girl would have known. I feel like we should do that every week.
We do that every week.
What you're going to do is we're going to pose for 3 to 5 seconds, you're going to take your phone and you're going to screenshot our pose. You're going to post it on Instagram or Twitter with a funny Broadway pun or caption. You're going to doodle. You're going to put a wig on Mark Pikert's head.
No.
Okay, no, don't do that. Unless it's very funny and relevant to the caption. And then you will have a chance to win this Playbill that will be signed by Tony nominee Michael Arden.
What should the theme be?
I don't know.
Once on this island?
I guess so. What do you want to pose as?
Wait, so we decide what we're gonna pose as?
Yeah, we choose a theme.
Yeah, theme is a good way
How
to
about theme is like gods? Or something?
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Like theater.
Yeah.
Theater. I don't know.
I like the gods, like the gods from Once on This Island.
Yeah, sure.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, don't tell us. Just improv. Just
I don't
Choose one you're gonna be.
Yeah.
Okay.
What? Are you nervous?
Yes! You know I'm
Okay.
bad at this.
Okay.
Okay. I have a problem.
Oh my god, amazing. Okay.
Oh, wow.
3, 2, 1.
Are we still freezing?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Amazing. Wow. Stunning work by
Oh,
everyone.
Wow!
really.
Look at that.
I was
Bravo.
praying to both of you.
Oh, fantastic.
Great.
Yeah, that's what that is.
You guys really
Guys,
made it through another Instagram Live.
Can I just say that I'm so I have been being here at walking into the Playbill studio before I moved to New York when I was growing up in Texas. I would just refresh playbill.com. I'd run home from school and do that computer startup sound you know what I'm talking about?
She doesn't, but I do.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
remember
that
if you're
young.
an old person like me, you remember
Okay.
turning on that and for refreshing Playbill, and so to be here and to see this on top of a piece of work that I'm a part of is such a thrill. And so I thank everybody for being a fan like I am, because you're the reason that we all do this. So thank you.
You're
Are you
gonna
gonna
cry again.
He really
he's
does
so
love to make you cry.
eloquent.
I have to get to the bus. Bye.
But yes, so thank you so much for
Thank
being
you
here
guys.
today.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes.
Thank you to Michael for sitting with us. And thank you, Felicia, for just being you.
Oh, anytime.
A
I just
teary-eyed
realized, yes, I have to announce the winner, and then we're done. I'm sorry, that was my bad for not doing it before we posed.
I specifically...
Oh wait.
I'm ready. Okay, the person who's going to win Ethan Slater's signed Playbill is Sponge So High Above. Nailed it. So I'll be in contact. XOXO Gossip Girl. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, special
Right?
guest
Yeah.
next week.
Good luck, Sarah Elizabeth C., with your Once on This Island production.
All right, goodbye.
Bye.